OC. Viewer discretion is advised. Incoming transmission in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Outcasted OC, and I know this is not a familiar face on Monday Night Raw. I'm really excited to do it. Court is unavailable for the Raw review this week. She is in Perth, Australia, ready for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. I'm pretty jealous, Court, and I hope you have a great time, and I hope you have a great week while you're there. But you've got me. You've got me for the Monday Night Raw review. A really good show this week, so I'm excited to talk about it. We open with an absolute banger. But before we get into it, I just wanted to say, guys, thank you for so much support. I say this every single week on NXT, but thank you for all the support on the channel. These past couple of weeks, we've seen some great growth. And if you've got anything to say about Monday Night Raw this week, I want you to leave it in the comments. Make sure you like the video, subscribe if you agree with what I'm saying. And if you don't agree with what I'm saying, make sure you like and subscribe so you can tell me that in every single other video that I'm a part of this week. So, it's win-win either way for both of us, right? So, just get your keyboards out on your phone and just tell me how great or bad I'm doing at this, okay? Like I say, we open with an absolute banger this week, guys. We got Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes. I will say this about Monday Night Raw this week. There's quite a lot of filler. It's a good show, but there's quite a lot of filler. We see quite a lot of video packages, and we get one for this match. Like just a normal opening match on Monday Night Raw. I mean, I say normal. It's Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes, but you know what I'm saying. Like a TV match gets a full-on video package. So fair enough. These two do have some history. I do want to talk about I'm not going to talk about the ratings every single time they come up in the show, but I will mention it a couple of times during this review. I want to talk about the ratings that these two have on WWE 2K24. I had a look, and Drew McIntyre has a rating of 89, which I suppose is quite fair. I mean, he's had a bit of an up and down year in 2023, but with Cody, I think this is quite an interesting one, to be honest with you. Cody is the cover, the cover guy for the actual game, and he's only rated at a 93. I thought that was quite odd, to be honest with you. I really thought, and we said this in a podcast a couple of weeks ago on the channel where we was talking about, what predicting the ratings for the game. I thought this was going to be higher, a lot higher for Cody Rhodes. I said about a 96 and 97 for Cody Rhodes, I believe. So yeah, this was quite interesting to see, to be honest. And this is a recurring theme for something later on in the night in the main event I want to talk about. But talking about this match, if you've seen any of the podcasts that we do, guys, I'm not the biggest fan of Cody Rhodes in the world. I'm not a fan of his character. I'm not a fan of the story or anything like that. But what I will say is you can't deny how good he is in the ring. I'm never going to deny that. So obviously this match is insane. The chemistry between these two guys are absolutely fantastic. Cody and Drew put on a major good show here. There's a particular move that I want to talk about before I talk about the end. Cody goes for a Cody cutter halfway through the match and he hits it. But when he realizes that does not get the job done, later on in the match, he jumps on the middle rope and then he jumps to the top rope and hits the top rope Cody cut on Drew McIntyre. And it just looks absolutely beautiful. You got Drew McIntyre kicking out of the Cody cutter, out of the disaster kick, and you get Cody Rhodes kicking out of the future shock DDT. Like both of these guys are just wondering what is it going to take for these guys to finish each other off. Cody Rhodes hits a pedigree on Drew McIntyre, but then we get interference from the Bloodline. Jimmy Uso runs down the ramp and tries to get into the ring, but Cody cuts him off. He picks up Drew McIntyre to go for the crossroads, but guess who's in a hoodie behind him as usual? It is Solo Sikoa, hits Cody Rhodes with a Samoan spike. Drew McIntyre realizes what's going on and hits the Claymore for the 1, 2, 3, pinning Cody Rhodes. Only the second time that Cody Rhodes has been pinned since he's been back since last year's Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns pinned him last year, obviously at WrestleMania, and now Drew McIntyre has pinned him. Like I say, that is the first time he has been pinned in nearly a year, which is a big victory for Drew McIntyre. I want to talk about this match because I do believe Drew McIntyre is probably going to be winning the Elimination Chamber match for the World Heavyweight Championship #1 contender spot. So it looks like we're probably getting in this match, we're looking at two sides of two halves of the main events here. Obviously, we're getting Cody versus Roman. I think we're probably going to be getting Drew versus Seth for the World Heavyweight Championship. So just wanted to mention that. Looking back at this match, it was a great way to open the show. Just because it was nice to get off to an actual, like usually we get people in the ring talking, etc. But it's great to have a really big opening match, and that's the recurring theme for each hour of the show, I believe. So it's nice to see that. Something happens next we get a bit of a video package for Andrade, and he talks about, the legacy, where he comes from. His wife is a wrestler, his brothers, his cousins, his grandfather, his father, all wrestlers. So he never had a choice of what he was going to do. He went off and found himself again, and then he had to come back to WWE to fulfill his destiny. What I will say about this video package is, I don't want to crap on it or anything. It wasn't a bad video package. But what I will say is, isn't this just Legado del Fantasma? This is pretty much the Monday Night Raw version of Legado del Fantasma. It sounds exactly like what they're saying on SmackDown. Which is even more funny because I don't know, like looking at this video package, I don't know if Andrade is going to be a heel or a face, because he's talking like a bit of a Alberto Del Rio, like kind of like, Destiny and stuff like that, a little bit full of himself. I don't know. If you were going to do the storyline with Andrade, why don't you just put him with Legado? Like, to be fair, that's what I would have done. But, we now go back to ringside, where Pat McAfee is drawing on the screen, and he does this a couple of times in the night. I'll get into Pat McAfee at the end of the review if I've got time. But like I said, Pat does this, and he used to do it in his old SmackDown days when he was with Michael Cole on Friday Night SmackDown. But he's drawing like circles around Drew's face, saying what's going on with him and stuff like that. And it just doesn't hit for me. It's a bit forced. What I will say is you got Michael Cole and Pat McAfee here calling Drew McIntyre a hypocrite because obviously he had so much trouble with the bloodline in the past. They're calling him a hypocrite for taking advantage and beating Cody Rhodes. And I'm just sat there like, what is he supposed to do then? Is he supposed to let Cody get up and beat him then? I'm not sure why he's being considered a hypocrite for winning the match. Like, just because he took advantage of a situation, it wasn't his fault. He didn't pay the bloodline to come down and interfere or anything like that. I don't know. I thought that was a bit strange, to be honest with you. Speaking of the bloodline, Adam Pearce is backstage and he tells Cody Rhodes that the bloodline are going to be paying a fine for getting involved in tonight's match. So don't you worry about it. He's going to be taking care of that whole situation. We get a really fun match next. We get the Battle Royal. It is a last chance Battle Royal for the Women's Elimination Chamber. Winner goes on to face Rhea Ripley or Nia Jax at WrestleMania, depending on who wins at Elimination Chamber. Raquel Rodriguez is back. I'm happy with that. Like, I was very happy to see Raquel Rodriguez. I didn't realize how bad her injury was, to be honest with you. If she was even injured, I wasn't even aware she was injured. So it was nice to see her back. And it turns out that she wasn't going to be in the Royal Rumble. She was one of my picks, but but she's in this Battle Royal and she's absolutely dominating. She eliminates quite a few people in this match. It comes down to a final four of Meechim, Mia Yim, Raquel Rodriguez, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark. Meechim gets eliminated by Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. They do a double move on her to get her out. Shayna Baszler then gets eliminated by Raquel Rodriguez, and then Zoe Stark gets eliminated by Raquel Rodriguez as well. Raquel eliminated about 8 people in this Battle Royal. She thinks she's won the match, but the bell doesn't ring. Chelsea Green, turns out, never got eliminated in the match. She tries to throw Raquel over the ropes, but she gets turned around, and Chelsea Green gets thrown out pretty much immediately. Raquel Rodriguez, once again, wins the Battle Royal. She takes the final place in the Elimination Chamber for the Women's World Championship. So that's going to be interesting. Raquel Rodriguez, Pat McAfee on commentary saying, the favorites may have just changed with the introduction of Raquel Rodriguez in the Elimination Chamber match. I don't know about that, Pat, but I'm happy to see it in there, to be fair. We now go on to it's kind of a video interview with Nia Jax and Rhea Ripley with Michael Cole, only getting to ask one question. He asks Rhea Ripley if she feels butterflies about defending the Women's World Championship in her home country. Just a little fact, by the way, Nia Jax was actually born in Australia, so technically this is her home country as well, but no one's talking about that. Rhea Ripley says no, she does not have butterflies. She last wrestled in Australia 7 years ago when she was still on the independent scene. She hasn't managed to do it in WWE, so she's happy to go back and do it. There was times when she first got to WWE where she was just looking to please people and do what people say. She had to remind herself who she was because at times she felt like quitting. She felt like, she kept thinking that this wasn't worth it. This wasn't working out for her. But then she had to remind herself that she is Rhea Bloody Ripley. Nia Jax says, "Oh, that's really cute." She's basically going to destroy her. She's going to squash her in her home country. And by the time she is done with Rhea Ripley, Mammy is going to be crying to Mommy, which was I thought that was a really cool. I thought that was a really cool line. To be fair, she is 3 times as talented as Rhea Ripley and double the size, or was it the triple the size as Rhea Ripley and double the? It was something like that. Like she said something. She said something cool. It was cool. I'm making it sound not as cool as what Nia Jax said, okay? But Nia Jax comes off looking quite dominant in this segment, as well as later on tonight, which we will get to. I'm really looking forward to this match. I'm guessing Rhea Ripley's probably going to win. Because I'm assuming Becky Lynch is probably going to be winning the Elimination Chamber match, but we'll discuss a little bit of that later. But I think that's the money match that they're going to go for in this, this Saturday. But I'm looking forward to the pay-per-view. We now go to a video package where R-Truth is walking around California in a raincoat. For some reason, even it doesn't look necessary, but he's wearing it, like maybe because he's been crying so much, because he mentioned this in the package. Apparently Damian Priest broke his heart. The Judgment Day, when he first saw the Judgment Day, they were all smiling, they were all a happy family. And then it cuts to like segments where they're all just having to go at R-Truth, like about him ruining the couch, about how he keeps getting into the clubhouse and stuff like that. I just thought that was quite funny. He said he hasn't cried this much. The Judgment Day betrayed him. He hasn't cried this much since the ending of This Is Us. Damien was his duck, apparently. And he's just absolutely devastated about the whole thing. But luckily, he has got new friends. He has got new friends in the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, and the Cerebral Assassin, Triple H, and The Miz. And tonight, they're going to defeat the Judgment Day and take them down for good. I love R-Truth. I just think R-Truth is just he's an absolute gem, isn't he? Like he's just great, and he's so over with the audience. I could genuinely see him winning a title this year. I don't know which one that's going to be. It might be the tag team championships with the Miz. But screw it. Give him the World Heavyweight Championship. Give R-Truth a run with the World Heavyweight Championship. I'm calling it right now. Let him have the Money in the Bank briefcase off Damian Priest and let him cash in on whoever the champion is. But yeah, let me know what you think of that in the comments. Like, do you want to see R-Truth with the World Championship? I'm guessing most of you are probably going to say no to that. And we get a random segment here next, where Michael Chandler, the current UFC light heavyweight champion, is in the ring, and he basically goes psycho and calls out Conor McGregor for the next UFC. We don't know when that match is going to be happening. Obviously, he's only here because of the TKO partnership that WWE have got with UFC. It felt quite forced. I didn't care. The crowd didn't seem to care very much, and the commentators didn't seem to very care. Pat McAfee was more concerned about how he was in the audience with his shirt off. But yeah, if you're a fan of UFC, I mean, I'll watch it every now and again. Are you excited to maybe get Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler for the light heavyweight championship? They have got a little bit of history, but we're not here to talk about that because this is a wrestling review. So let's move straight on, shall we? It looks like we're getting a one-on-one affair here. Chad Gable is talking about how he's going to leave his crew in the back tonight against Ivar, and Ivar is going to leave Valhalla in the back after she did such a terrible job in the Battle Royal. He didn't say that, but I said that because I don't know what Valhalla is doing at the moment, guys. Like she's. I think the most interesting thing about Valhalla lately is the fact that Michael Cole is so obsessed with her antlers. But yeah. Let's have a look what's next, guys. Oh yeah, there we go. We get an 8-man tag next, which is one of the best matches of tonight. Even though there wasn't that many matches tonight, this was one of the best matches of the night. The 8-man tag, we get the Judgment Day of JD McDonough, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and Damian Priest versus R-Truth, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa of DIY, and The Miz. What I will say about this match is Tommaso Ciampa is like the MVP of this match. Like there's a point where he gets like the hot tag and he is just taking out everybody. He does like the sort of like, the Cesaro run around where you remember when Cesaro used to get like the hot tag when he was in the bar, and he used to just take out everybody on the outside, in the inside, kicks in the corner, kicks in the middle of the ring, clotheslines, everything. Yeah, Tommaso Ciampa was absolutely on fire, a cardio machine in this match. R-Truth is so over. Like when it comes to everybody in this match, R-Truth is probably the most over person in this matchup. The crowd are just wanting him all the way through until he gets tagged in. Unfortunately, this momentum doesn't last very long as Damian Priest. There's a spot in this match near the end where everyone is hitting a move on each other. You know, like one person from each team hits a move at a time on the other person in the ring. But it comes down to R-Truth and Damian Priest in the ring. Damian Priest hits the South of Heaven on R-Truth for the 1, 2, 3. It's a shame that R-Truth was he's still probably going to be crying after this match. He might have to go watch some happy TV shows instead of reminding himself of the why can't I speak of the This Is Us finale. God, that was hard to get out. I'm not sure why. I don't know where R-Truth is going till WrestleMania. Like I said, maybe the tag team title is going to be on the line. Him and the Miz versus the Judgment Day. You know, Damian Priest and Finn Balor haven't got anything to do at WrestleMania yet. Assuming they beat the Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne at Elimination Chamber, I'm assuming they're gonna win that match. I take it they're probably going to take the tag team titles into WrestleMania. R-Truth and the Miz versus Finn Balor and Damian Priest, I could totally see happening. Let me know what you think of that in the comments, guys. And like I say, Tommaso Ciampa absolutely on fire in this match. We get a backstage segment now with Sami Zayn, and we've been seeing these for the past couple of weeks, mostly when he's been just sat in the empty arena before the show starts. But now we get like a backstage segment where he's pretty much saying how much of a loser he is. He doesn't say it, but I'm going to say it. Like, he just sounds like a loser in this interview. He says he needs to put Drew McIntyre on pause at the moment because when he gets obsessed with someone, that's all he can see. He can see nothing else. He gets tunnel vision, and it ends up costing him in the long run. So he's going to put pause on that for now, and he's going to focus on something because he does want to be a champion. He wants to focus on his road to WrestleMania. Shinsuke Nakamura later on in the night says that he's willing to give Sami Zayn a spotlight and go one-on-one with him again. And we get confirmed that Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn are going to be fighting next week on Raw. This is a pay-per-view match that we've had on TV last week, and we're going to be getting it next week again. These two guys have amazing matches, so I wish it was for like a championship or something and not just like the main event of Raw. Assuming this is going to be the main event of Raw, because it definitely should be again, because like I said, these two have like amazing chemistry with each other. But I'm interested to see what Sami Zayn is going to be doing for the road to WrestleMania. Depending on who wins the Intercontinental Championship later on in the night, guys, I think that Sami Zayn is going to be challenging the winner of that match at WrestleMania and probably winning the championship. I can see Sami Zayn winning the Intercontinental Championship in the near future. I think they should capitalize on the popularity that Sami Zayn has, and I think it'd be a waste of time throughout the whole of last year where Sami Zayn was over as Rover, and they haven't really done anything with him since last September. So I think it's about time that they do something with Sami Zayn, give him a championship, give him a singles run. He can have amazing matches with that Intercontinental Championship. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you think of that in the comments, guys. We now get one of those segments where, like, you know, like just because they're all having a match, each one of the people come out and just talk and say something. But the first person to come out is Becky Lynch and says, you know, with someone with such a historic career such as mine, not many firsts come about. Apart from the hat, that's new. And the crowd cheer for that. She asks the crowd if they like the hat, and they say, yeah. And she says, the hat's staying. She loves the hat. But back to what she was saying, she says, not much comes new in my career. Like, I've done everything except be in the Elimination Chamber match. And she starts talking about Rhea Ripley. And Pat McAfee says, or Nia Jax, you know, because obviously she's talking about facing the winner at WrestleMania. You know, he's just sort of there on commentary, like, you know, Nia Jax is, you know, she could win. She's not going to, but she could win. Like, obviously, everyone is just like assigned to the fact that Rhea Ripley is probably going to retain in the title at Elimination Chamber. Becky Lynch is interrupted by Liv Morgan, who also says she likes the hat, but she is focused on revenge because she was the last person to beat Rhea Ripley, apparently. Rhea Ripley was the person who injured her shoulder and cost her 6 months of her career when she was at her very best. She won the tag team championships twice with Raquel Rodriguez before she had to go on the injuries list. Who else comes out after this? Like I say, pretty much everybody in this match comes out. Naomi comes out. Raquel Rodriguez comes out, etc., etc. Tiffany Stratton, Bianca Belair, all of them come out to the ring and say their piece. Tiffany Stratton like disrespects Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair gets annoyed about this. But before anything can pop off properly, Nia Jax gets in the ring and just destroys all of these women. She beats down all 6 of these women, like quite easily. I want to say she throws someone. She throws Tiffany Stratton into the stairs. I believe she throws Naomi into the barricade. She destroys Becky Lynch. As I say, Raquel Rodriguez gets flattened. Everyone just goes flying. Liv Morgan gets thrown to the outside of the ring. Nia Jax comes out of this looking absolutely dominant, and everyone in the Elimination Chamber looks absolutely destroyed. So I think this is a nice way of saying, you know, Nia Jax isn't going to be winning the Women's World Championship at Elimination Chamber, but she is still a force to be reckoned with. And I'm assuming she's probably going to be having a match at WrestleMania with one of these ladies. I'm absolutely fine with this. Like I say, like it's good to keep Naomi in the spotlight. It's good to keep Tiffany Stratton in the spotlight, seeing as though they're on SmackDown, you know, so it's good to have them have a conversation. But it's also good to, like, you know, to get them all in the same ring at the same time before the Elimination Chamber, just to let the fans know who is going to be in this match, just in case you haven't been paying attention. And also with Nia Jax, like I say, she's not going to be getting her spotlight at Elimination Chamber. She's not going to be winning the Women's World Championship, but it's a nice reminder to, you know, to show everyone how dominant she is in that women's division. Next, we get Gable versus Ivar, which is a really good mix of, like, it's a good mix of styles in this match. Obviously, Ivar is just the bigger guy and goes for the power moves, but he's also very agile for his size. I do want to talk about just a couple of moves in this match where Gable goes for a moonsault. He hits a beautiful moonsault for a 2 count. Ivar hits a senton off the top rope onto Chad Gable, oh god, it looks so painful. He only gets a 2 count there. Chad Gable is finally able to hit a German suplex onto Ivar, gets him in an ankle lock for the tap out. Ivar submits to Chad Gable, the head of the Alpha Academy, puts Ivar down for the submission. It's nice to see Gable getting a victory here. I was quite happy to see Ivar having a good showing against someone who is a great wrestler. Ivar has been absolutely killing it lately, in his own little singles run. I don't really want to see Eric come back. No offense to him, like I don't want, and if he does come back, I don't want to see him as a tag team. I think Ivar is great by himself. I don't think he needs to be in that tag team. He can go for a singles title, in my opinion. I wouldn't even mind if he went for the US title or the Intercontinental Championship. It really would not bother me in the slightest. We now go backstage to Drew McIntyre, and he's talking about, I've heard what people have been saying, you know, I'm a hypocrite, etc. But I don't see anything wrong with what I did. I mean, I'm with you, Drew. I don't see anything wrong that you did either, to be honest with you. He talks about how, you know, what was I supposed to do? The Bloodline were out there, and yeah, I wanted to beat him down. I wanted to go after him, but I was in a match. I was focused on Cody Rhodes, and I am the savior of WrestleMania. So I had to take down Cody Rhodes and do it for WrestleMania, do it for all those fans, and do it for myself. I love Drew McIntyre's character. I just think there's something really good about his character lately. I think he's absolutely fantastic with what he's doing heading into WrestleMania and the Elimination Chamber. So yeah, like, I don't have a bad word to say about Drew McIntyre whatsoever. We stay backstage just before the main event where the New Day is talking about Imperium. They're talking about how Jey Uso is going to beat Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship tonight, and next week is their turn because they're not done with Imperium. They may have won that 6-man tag team match last week, but it's only done when the New Day says it's done. And next week they're going to be challenging Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci to a street fight on Raw. Looking forward to that. We've got 2 great matches announced for next week already, so that's going to be dope. But guys, let's get to the main event, the match that everyone wants to talk about. We get the Intercontinental Championship on the line. We have got the ring general Gunther versus main event Jey Uso. And what a match this is. This is an absolutely fantastic match. I do want to talk about the ending in a little minute, but let's just talk about the stuff that happens in the match. Gunther is quite dominant in this match, but Jey Uso gets a lot of stuff in himself. This looks like to be one of the most toughest challenges for Gunther to date in his Intercontinental Championship run. I've not seen anyone give him a good fight, a real good fight, you know, to challenge for that championship, except for like Chad Gable and your Sheamuses. Jey Uso is a different form, a different level of talent for Gunther to overcome. So it's great to see Jey Uso get this spotlight put on him. There's a point in this match where Jey Uso hits a spear, Gunther kicks out. He hits a spear on the apron. Gunther falls to the floor. Jey Uso hits another spear. He gets Gunther into the ring and then hits another spear. He gets onto the top rope. He hits the Uso splash. He goes for the 1, 2, 3. He gets one. He gets two. And then the bell starts ringing. And the referee stands up like, whoa, whoa, what's going on? I didn't count the three. What's happening? And then it cuts to the ringside area. It cuts to the timekeeper's area. And there's someone in a hood. And he takes it off. And it's just Jimmy Uso in it. Jimmy Uso is ringing the bell. He is costing his brother this opportunity for the Intercontinental Championship. Jey Uso obviously has to try and keep his eye on Gunther. He keeps Gunther down for the moment. He goes to the outside and takes out Jimmy Uso. He gets back into the ring. Gunther, unfortunately, is there waiting for him. He takes Jey Uso out for the 1, 2, 3. As Jey Uso is going for another Uso splash. Jey Uso goes for the Uso splash. Gunther gets the knees up and manages to roll him up. But this was a close call for Gunther. Probably the closest he's come to losing the Intercontinental Championship. If it wasn't for Jimmy Uso, Gunther probably would have lost the IC title here. So that's big for Jey Uso. But it looks like we're feeding into the main one of the main events of WrestleMania. Jimmy versus Jey. It's finally happening. I'm down for that. Jimmy gets into the ring and starts beating down Jey Uso while he's still recovering from the loss from Gunther. He hits about 3 Uso splashes onto Jey Uso. And that is where Monday Night Raw comes to an end, guys. What did you think of the ending? Was you a bit disappointed that that amazing match got interrupted? I really thought at some points that Gunther was going to lose the IC title at this point. But I do think, like I said, Sami Zayn is probably going to be challenging for the IC title at WrestleMania, where Sami Zayn is going to pick up the W. I'm excited for other matches that have probably been set up for WrestleMania. Like I say, that tag team match with Damian Priest and Finn Balor versus Truth and Miz for the tag team titles if they beat Dunn and Tyler Bate. Like I say, Jey versus Jimmy. I think this is a match that we've all been wanting. It was kind of set up near the Royal Rumble where they came out at 1 and 2. And obviously just with this, it's pretty much confirmed in it. Like, we're going to be getting Roman Reigns defending in the main event against Cody. Maybe Jimmy is going to lose to Jey, so he's not going to be a factor in the main event later on. So, these are just little theories of mine, little things like what I think is probably going to be going on. But like I said, let me know what you think in the comments, guys, of Monday Night Raw this week. Like I say, different face to run the place this week for Monday Night Raw, but I've really enjoyed reviewing it for you guys. I'm not going to lie. It's been a little bit different than reviewing NXT, which I will also be reviewing tomorrow. And then I'm going to be on the podcast on Thursday, so make sure you stay tuned for that. We've got so much content coming up for you this week. Obviously, we have got Friday Night SmackDown as well on the Saturday. We'll see when we can get that review out, but we will obviously be live streaming at 10 a.m. for us UK time, the Elimination Chamber. Some of us are going to be on there. Obviously, look out for Courtney's channel because she's probably going to be posting on her channel because she is there. She's there for the show. She's there for Elimination Chamber. So make sure you stay tuned for all of that content, guys. Like I say, leave a like if you've liked the video. Subscribe to the channel. Go follow us on all the social media platforms at Outcasted OC, guys. But for now, I hope you have an amazing Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your week. I will see you tomorrow. Peace out.